So let's talk about using another additive to our homemade bread that is a natural ingredient and uh, accomplishes something in bread. And the idea here is we want our loaf of bread to last longer. So the things that happens usually to bread, it will either go stale, which we talked about dehydrated potato flakes helping that problem by retaining moisture longer. But now we're going to talk about honey and how honey can actually inhibit mold so the bread will, again, last longer. Now, again, if you don't eat it, most people, but if there's one or two in the family, you got this bread machine, you make this loaf. You can't say, oh, I'm going to make a loaf for one person with 1 cup of flour. Generally, the machines, I guess there's some smaller machines that have come out now, but generally you're looking at recipes that are using, 3 or 4 cups, mostly right around that range. So if we take the amount of sugar, say we're putting in 2 tablespoons of sugar, we can substitute directly 2 tablespoons of honey. Now, yeah, technically, if you look at it, sources will say, oh, you should only use 3/4 the amount of honey as you do sugar, but I've done it as an exact replacement and it's been fine. But so what is honey going to do? Raw honey that hasn't been heat extracted, right, is actually got some strong antibiotic properties. It, it's supposedly the only food that never goes bad. If you have a jar of honey, and you've got it, you've got it there with a cap on it, stuff. Supposedly, it's never going to go bad because there's nothing that's going to grow in it because of this stuff. Of course, if it's a container that things can get into, the ants are going to love it and different things like that eventually. But so that antibiotic property is destroyed when the bread is cooked. So how is it that it still has this antifungal property in the bread? Well, when the bread is cooking and the honey is being heated, the end result is a slight acidic change of the bread, okay? And believe it or not, there's a small amount of hydrogen peroxide that's created. And this lower pH and hydrogen peroxide and probably some other more esoteric things that happen actually inhibits the growth of mold. So that will definitely help the situation of getting your bread to last longer if you have any difficulties using it. Now, to me, if it imparts flavor, it doesn't matter to me because I like the taste of honey. Some people might not. So I guess that would be a thing you'd have to look into. You'd have to make it and try it and see if you find it objectionable. I would think in any real flavored breads that would be harder to tell. In other words, say you're making pumpernickel bread or rye bread. That would have a strong enough taste to it, I think, to mask the honey if you don't like the taste of honey. But I guess honey has an equal balance of fructose and glucose, and that's what sets it up for, after being cooked, to have some of these properties that are anti-fungal. So there we go. Maybe we'll add, these are the two, well, there's another one. Maybe we'll do one on vitamin C, adding vitamin C to your bread, what that does. But these last two are ones that I've tried. The potato flakes with water, added water. And you can go with potato flakes, you can go as low as a teaspoon per cup. With honey, I found a direct replacement, for 2 tablespoons of flour, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and doing 2 tablespoons of honey. But you could cut that down to, 1.5 tablespoons if you want to be, exact according to what the recommendations are. But like I say, I like the taste of honey. So if there's a little bit of that taste in there, I don't find that objectionable at all.